Pop the top, it's time for another video to drop, and today, bringing you episode 2 of the WWE 2014 series, the first episode of SmackDown in week 1 of January 2014. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into Friday Night Smackdown. We kick things off with the Bray, Wyatt, Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, Daniel Bryan confrontation that we ended off on with Raw, where they hit the ring basically and dropped Cena, Orton, and Kane. A little recap is shown as the SmackDown intro then plays, and then all of a sudden we get the Wyatt intro, and they're in the ring. Bray Wyatt cryptically talking about why Daniel Bryan has finally decided to join him, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. A lot of Bray Wyatt creep talk, if you will, because you know he just rambles on and rambles on whenever he promos. And then finally he says something along the lines of they're never going to stop until they finally get what they want. And then that's when Brad Maddox comes from the back with a microphone. Excuse me, excuse me, Bray, Mr. Wyatt. Even I would just like to tell you I run the show, and while that is a good idea, that's a good plan. That's a good idea. That's a good plan. Not saying it's not. Tonight, actually, right now, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, they have a tag match. Later on tonight, the main event, Daniel has a match. And you Bray, I didn't pencil you in for anything, but feel free to come to the back, get some refreshments, watch the matches, and then gather up your guys and do whatever you guys do after the. I don't know, but thank you. Now please exit my ring. And I'll see you guys in a little bit, maybe. Have a good SmackDown, everyone. And then he just tries to exit before he gets jumped or anything. And that ends the segment, basically. So now we know that up next we have Eric Rowan and Luke Harper in a tag match, while Daniel Bryan will be competing tonight. His first time since joining the Wyatts in the main event. They got a 68 C+ rated. Not that good. But nonetheless, we go on to the match where the Wyatt family takes on Los Matadors, where Eric Rowan and Luke Harper absolutely destroy Diego and Fernando to the point where they look like they're hurt, to the point where it looks like the Matadors cannot Matador no more. 57 C- rated on that. And the match came to an end when Luke Harper defeated Diego with a running big boot, and he just boots the man's skull off, just completely. I'm trying to take them off camera so I can switch them to the little what are they just called, the Shining Stars, or are they called something else? I feel like they're called the Shining Stars. Nonetheless, Diego is not suited to his gimmick. El Torito did good work at ringside. Fernando is not suited to his gimmick. Announced quality lifted the match. Harper with a 57. He did the best out of everyone in the match. Rowan with a 45. Fernando 48. Diego 49. 57 C-. Can't really ask for much. Just helps out the Wyatt family. We then go on to a video recap showing what happened on Raw with Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, Mark Henry, and The Big Show. Brock Lesnar, of course, locking in Henry with a Kimura lock after him and Heyman bragged a little bit in the segment. And then following that, Big Show came out for the save, but then Brock and Big Show basically just brawled until security broke them up. 77B, not bad. We then have Ryback and Curtis Axel walking down a hallway, and we're told by the announcers that up next, Ryback, the big guy, is in action. 65C, not bad. We then have Ryback taking on Justin Gabriel in our match with a rated 65C. Let's see. Michael Cole and John Bradshaw Layfield have pretty good chemistry when calling matches together. That's good. Can't speak at the moment. Don't know why. Ryback got an in-ring. Ryback is Mr. 65. That is what this man is. In-ring performance is 65. Gable had an in-ring performance of 54. Heyman did good work at ringside. I still forgot to take Heyman off of Ryback and Axel. God dang it. 65C nonetheless, though. After the win from Ryback stays pinning Gabriel and then motions for Axel to get in the ring. Ryback then tells Axel to do what he told him backstage, and Axel goes down for the mat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 count. 5 count. Axel celebrates the 5 count with Ryback, and Ryback just smiles with a smug old grin as he stands to his feet and yells at the camera, "Hey, Big E, I could do a 5 count too, and I'm coming for that title." And the guy got a 71 C+. Just a little something to better develop the IC title program we got running here. We then go on backstage to where we see CM Punk in a locker in the General manager's office, actually, not the locker room. CM Punk is got bandage tape on his ribs. There we go. I cannot speak this morning. I'm apologizing for this video already. But Punk has bandaged ribs right now. Maddox is basically going, CM Punk, I know, man. I know you want to compete, and I respect that completely, but come on. Come on. Just take the night off. It's alright. I don't want you getting in the Shield's way anymore and breaking more announce tables, running up my budget, and then Punk just cuts him off and says, listen, I'm not taking a break. No. When I see the Shield, I'm going to hurt them. I don't care if my ribs are hurt. I don't care if they're bruised. I'm going to hurt the Shield one way or another. The best thing you can do right now is give me my match. Give me one of them. I don't care which one. In a cage. A cell. Anything where the other two can't get involved. Do it. Maddox just says, my hands are tied right now. I can't do anything right now about that. But I can still give you that day off. And then CM Punk just rolls his eyes and just exits very, very annoyed. A 60 rated segment. The reason I feel like this is a 60 rated segment is definitely because of Rollins and Reigns. Also because Maddox was off script. Punk also was off script, but he came out looking excellent, so I don't really think that has much to do with anything. We then go on to the Real Americans taking on Xavier Woods and R-Truth. The Real Americans getting the win at 7 minutes and 34 seconds when Antonio Cesaro defeated Xavier Woods with a neutralizer. Xavier Woods was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone else's in-ring performance. Cesaro had an in-ring performance of 68. Swagger had an in-ring performance of 72. R-Truth had an in-ring performance of 64. Xavier Woods had an in-ring performance of 35. The overall rating of the match was a 66 C+. This is just something to get the Real Americans a couple of victories before their little tag program. Nothing real too big major right here. We then have, after the match, though, the Real Americans are celebrating when all of a sudden the Rhodes Dynasty hits the ring. And they slide into the ring. And before they can even go after Cesaro or Swagger, Cesaro and Swagger dip out of the ring. Zeb Coulter telling them to come fall back. And Rhodes and Goldust stand tall because on Monday Night Raw they got their asses kicked after their match. And tonight they show that they're not just going to stand around and take that from the Real Americans. Cody Rhodes even hopping up on the top rope saying, come on in, come on in, come on. We want you. Fight us fair now. Come on. But still, Cesaro and Swagger just smirk and shake their heads before leaving. 65 C-rated angle. Not bad.
For honor. Everything you know is about to change.
Following that vignette, we have Damien Sandow taking on Tyson Kidd, where Damien Sandow gets a win with 5 minutes and 38 seconds into the match with the terminus. A 60 rated match. Tyson Kidd's not very suited to his gimmick. Match had very little drama to flow. Can't speak, man. God damn. The match had very little drama of flow to it, as nobody in the ring had the psychology to take control properly. Damien Sandow had an in-ring performance of 77, while Tyson Kidd had an in-ring performance of 55. Just something for Sandow's momentum to keep going up. After the fact, he basically tells Tyson Kidd that you're welcome for being in a match with a certain star that's going to be rising in 2014 as Damien Sandow will be. And that got a 75B minus. Good stuff on that. We then go on to the top of the hour, where the Shield comes out. Dean Ambrose, our U.S. champion, takes the microphone first and basically just goes on a tangent. CM Punk, I told you, I'm not a joke. We're not a joke. And I told you once, I'll tell you again. We are going to beat your ass every time we get. And that's exactly what we do. Now, don't mind us, but how's your ribs? Tell us. Come on. We want to know. Where you at, Punky? Punky, where you at? And then Ambrose is basically just making a mock of the situation. And then Reigns gets the microphone, says some lines. Rollins gets the mic and says some lines, kind of how they used to do on the Shield promos. Then finally, CM Punk's music hits, and all three turn to the stage. However, Punk comes from the crowd holding a Singapore cane, slides into the ring, cracks Rollins over the head with it. Reigns turns, gets cracked in the stomach with it. He charges Ambrose then, but Ambrose already has the Iggy and dives, basically double leg takedown CM Punk, and they start brawling. And then finally the numbers game kicks back in, and Punk gets his ass kicked. And then Reigns and Rollins picks up Punk both arms. Ambrose grabs a Singapore cane, cracks Punk over the head with it once, cracks him over the head with it again twice, and then finally he just goes on a tangent, smacking the man's ribs that are already bruised and taped up, mind you. This got an 81B for the segment. Seth Rollins is not suited to his gimmick, which I still need to change. Segment deserved better color commentary, and CM Punk came across well. That's good. We have Natalya taking on Layla, where Natalya defeats Layla with a German suplex in 6 minutes. 50D plus, just a Divas match to get some more Divas over. We then have a video recap showing what happened with the Divas champion AJ Lee coming out after the Caitlyn Nikki Bella match, throwing her title down, saying that this women's revolution will begin now. This year is the year of the women, and not the year of a diva, especially a total diva. And then it showed AJ Lee walking off stage without her title. Got a 65C, not bad. We then go on to Alberto Del Rio taking on Evan Bourne. Well, Del Rio gets not a quick win, but a win in 8 minutes and 1 second by pinfall. I'm assuming the finish would be something along the lines of Evan Bourne goes up to the top rope for a shooting star press. However, before he can dive off, Del Rio jumps to his feet, hits an enziguri, and then gets in a quick pinfall for the victory. Afterwards, Del Rio points right at the stage and says, "The Royal Rumble is coming, and my destiny awaits. I am Del Rio, and I am gonna be the Royal Rumble winner for a second time now. This is my year." He doesn't do it over the mic, he just screams it out at the camera basically. It just gives it a little bit more drama in my opinion. 73B minus rating nonetheless. We then go on to an interview where Scott Stanford is standing by with Rey Mysterio, asking Rey Mysterio how does he feel about competing up next in the main event against Daniel Bryan, the first match we see of Daniel Bryan since joining the Wyatt family. Rey Mysterio basically just says, you know, I gotta bring respect to Daniel Bryan for doing what he did. He fought it for as long as he could, but even I can't fight the man known as Bray Wyatt. That man's got some scary powers. But Bray, I have you know, tonight when I face Daniel, I'm going to face Daniel Bryan, not Daniel Wyatt. And then Ray thanks Scott for interviewing him, and he walks off, ready for the match. And then we go into the main event, where Daniel Bryan defeats Rey Mysterio with a no-lock, with a 79B rated. And to note on this, Daniel Bryan locks in the no-lock. And after the tap out already happens, Ray taps out, Daniel holds on to it for an extra 4 seconds. Not 5, not to get DQ'd. He holds on to it for an extra few seconds before finally rolling up to his feet. And that's when Daniel Bryan finally grabs him by the mask after the Wyatt intro hits. And the rest of the Wyatts are now in the ring. Daniel pulls up Rey Mysterio himself, throws him right into Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt hits Sister Abigail on Rey Mysterio. And then they all do what they did on Monday Night Raw. They get in that signature pose. Bray's arms stretch out. Daniel standing right behind him. Rowan and Harper behind Daniel. Follow the buzzards as SmackDown comes to an end. We got a 70C+. I knew that show wasn't going to do that well as I was going through it. Like I said, though, we're fluctuating a little bit when it comes to show ratings. We're going to find a groove, though. We surely will. We don't have enough interesting storylines going on right now either. That's a bad thing. Because for some reason, I suppose I don't have the Punk and Shield storyline running, and if I do, I'm not sure why it's not updating as it should be. Then again, I'm probably the segment ratings that we're getting for those segments aren't really that great anyway when it comes to an average sense. But nonetheless, if you guys liked the video, leave a like. If you disliked it, leave a dislike. If you're new, subscribe because we are doing daily content once again with this series. And above all else, take it easy, guys.